It's a beautiful sunny day on the allotment. It's the beginning of May and I think it's time to do an update. We've been working really hard on getting everything done and I just want to show you guys around and show you what we've been working on. Hey, and what is going on, fellow dreamers? Welcome to the Farm Dream. Today we're gonna walk through the garden and I'm gonna give you a little bit of an update on what we're working on because it's quite a lot. Let's go. First of all, here in the flower garden, we've been working really hard to get it done. All we need to do is the last bit on that side over there. If we get that done, then all the compost is in and then we need to plant all the flowers. But we already have planted some flowers, so let's look at that first. Now the first thing that I wanted to show is our tulip field. We have one over here and one in the back. And we have had a lot of issues with rabbits, mole rats and mice, and they've been eating the tulips pretty much. I'm not sure if there's any that are still coming out right now. Yeah, here's one. They just eat the part in between the roots and the stem, and we can just pick them out and they won't flower anymore. We still have a few that do work. We planted about 400. We have 50 to 100 left. They do look beautiful. We actually have a few at home and they open up beautifully. So it's a beautiful tulip. Next year we'll have way more. So I'm really looking forward to that because it does look amazing. Actually, yesterday we went to a tulip field and I'll show some extra footage of that because I was actually amazed. It was my first time as a Dutch person, my first time to actually see the tulip fields, and it's just beautiful. So if you are ever in the Netherlands, definitely check those out. This is a part of the garden where we are just a little bit less proud on at the moment. Actually, a lot of things have been quite difficult so far because it's a new growing space and we just need to learn the land. But we have a lot of crows that are just trying to tear out the fleece to use for their nest, and we have amazingly amounts of nests over there, and they're just basically destroying it all. But underneath it all, we do have a small little flower over here. This is the Anemone, if I'm correctly spelling that. They are growing, but very slowly, so we'll see. They have had some waterlogging issues as well because the land wasn't draining enough. So we're just gonna see if they actually catch up and grow to some bigger plants. One thing that we've also planted quite some time ago are these peonies, and they are finally showing up. And this one actually already has a nice flower bud. There's actually some ants on there, and some people might be worried. You don't need to worry about that. Ants don't do any harm. They just eat the sap of the flower bud. Another big thing here on the allotment is Nicole's Ranunculus trial. We have 46 different varieties, and I'm just gonna show you because we've been making these new beds and transplanting in a few of them now. I think we have about 18 different varieties already in, and here's just a part of it. So we've numbered them all and we just have to do 5 beds in total to get to 64 or 46. We have 9, I believe, in each bed. It's quite a lot of work, but it's gonna be amazing to walk in between all of these Ranunculus. Now, besides all these flowers, we've also planted 2 trees so far. One is an apple and one is a pear. The pear is now blossoming, so we're hoping to get some fruit, but it's only its first year, so we'll see what happens. The apple tree is not really doing so well. We think we might have some water issues here. Now it's catching back up. It's slowly opening up, and we'll see if we still get a nice full tree out of this, and maybe even some harvest later this year. Underneath, a lot of annual plants, and we're just trying to grow as much as we can right now. The greenhouse is also filled up. We'll show that in a little bit, but let's continue to the vegetable garden because there's a lot to see over there as well. To start here in the vegetable garden, I want to start where we planted our first seeds, our first bulbs as well. Over here, garlic, it's actually doing really well. We have a total of about 150 of them. Next to that, we have our broad beans, and they have been growing, but not as big as I was hoping. But that's also because in the beginning, in the first stages, we had a few that were chewed off and they had to just regroup and actually grow again. But they are showing some signs of flowers here. So I think we will get some harvest, but just not as much as we were hoping. Now, on the 22nd of November, we've transplanted some salad in here, and they've been growing really well. Let's open it up because this is what I'm most proud of at this stage here on the garden. These crops are beautiful. We've already eaten quite a few of them, but there's just so many beautiful salad. And I will open this one up because this one is completely filled with many different salad varieties. So in the beginning we have spinach, we have arugula, lamb's lettuce, some salad bowl, granolas, and at the end some peas for shoots, and they've been growing so well that we actually already harvested quite a bit of it, and they're just looking beautiful. We can actually harvest the spinach definitely again, and the arugula as well. So beautiful salad here on the farm, something that I didn't expect to have already, but it's actually doing really well. Really happy with this. Besides the salad, we're growing snow peas, sugar snap, and also some beetroot is already in there, and it's actually showing a lot of leaves. Besides the cut flowers and the vegetables that were already growing, we also needed to do quite some upgrades here on the allotment that we just needed to get done in order to, well, for instance, capture rainwater. So we have 3 IBCs here. I showed how to connect them in the last video, and it's actually working really well. We are harvesting some fresh, clean water right now. This is rainwater mostly. We did add some water with the pump, but it's been raining quite a lot again. Also added these covers to the IBCs, and these make sure that we don't get too much algae in there. And there's one more thing that's been a lot of work, and we'll get a video on that, but let me show you real quick because that's the fence. This beauty over here is something that we've been working on for already 3 days, was it, Nicole? I think so, 3 days. Basically, it's just a fence, but we also added some mole rat protection in that, and we had to dig that in. We have done about halfway so far, and it's looking beautiful. It's working so far because I have seen a few holes and they've been trying to get underneath it, but they can't because we dug this in 50 centimeters, so it's deep enough. This is about the last thing that we've been doing here on the allotment in the last couple of days. It's something that we still need to finish. It's just so much work, but we'll get across the entire perimeter. We put in the mole rat mesh protection, and then the fence only on this side and on the front, and then the other side we already have some protection laid out for the bunnies. So now let's go into the garden and do some transplanting, because there's a lot of plants that we kept inside of the greenhouse because we couldn't protect them from all the bunnies, but we now have some more fleece. So let's get them all in and make sure we start growing some vegetables. Here we are then, it's transplanting day for us. We need to do all the onions and the pointed cabbages. These have been in here for so long. They were sown the 24th of February and it's now the 2nd of May. So they've been in here quite too long, but because the trays are really deep, they're not root bound just yet, and also because of the big holes in the bottom, they've been going out of the tray and actually into the soil, into the compost in the greenhouse where they were standing. So let's get these in. Nicole's gonna help out. We're gonna do a quick montage of getting in all these plants and get our transplanting day done. The wind is picking up and it's getting quite cold now, but we added in all the vegetables that we wanted to transplant. We got pointed cabbage over here, red ones and just normal green ones. Then we have over here a bed, half bed filled with leeks. And then over here, next to our peas, we added 2 varieties of onions, red onions, bulb onions, and also yellow bulbing onions. And then in a few months, we multi-sown these. So in a few months, we can actually take out about 3 to 4 per cell and use that as spring onions, so we can just use the top part and then leave the rest in for another 2 months, and then when those are ready we actually have some onion harvest. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this little update on the tour. We're working on a lot of things at the same time and it's really hard to keep up to date with you guys. I hope you are with us still though. If you liked the video, leave a like, consider subscribing to the channel or becoming a Patreon for more behind the scenes content, and don't forget to live the farm dream.